In this segment of the toolbox tour, you'll find out what this tool was made for and why I have a 5/16 British standard wrench in this drawer. So here we have the screwdriver drawer, and in here we have the small watchmaker's screwdrivers, a cotter pin puller, pretty handy for doing front end work when you're greasing the front end bearings. There's a set of all the odd shaped screwdriver bits, the short, medium, and long bits, magnetic hex drives. This one here doesn't look like a screwdriver, but it is used most by me for radiator hose clamps, both heater hose and radiator hose. Here's large Phillips for doing, for adjusting your doors. This one here I kind of bought on a whim from Harbor Freight, but I found that I use it quite a bit, not only because it extends, it ratchets, and it's an easier handle to hold than just a regular screwdriver handle. Here we have a carburetor and distributor tool. Fits the nuts and both the screws for your distributor, and you can get quite a number of the screws loose with this because it has this gap. You can also do the jets, or the needle and seat on Strongberg 94s and Strongberg 97s. Here's a Zeus fastener wrench, both for the 1/2 inch and for the 3/8 Zeus fasteners. Here's a snap-on scraper, brake tool for getting the springs off of your brake shoes, an awl and a ratcheting screwdriver, and a clutch head screwdriver. This one here doesn't look much like a screwdriver, but it has a screwdriver handle. And back in the early 60s, 62, I had a 57 Ford Fairlane 500 that I put a 406 with a T10L aluminum transmission in, 4-speed. And the rear end that was in it was for automatic transmission, and they were 390s, and I wanted to set a 411s. So I made this tool to adjust the amount of load the ring gear had onto the pinion. There's 2 nuts out there. You loosen one, screw it in, and then you can use your bluing to get it in exactly where you want it. This one here is for seats on carburetors. You can see that it's hollow ground, and I keep it nice and sharp so it doesn't slip when I'm taking a seat out of a carburetor. And that's about it. Over here, smaller screwdrivers, offset screwdrivers. That's about it for this drawer. Next we have the plier drawer. The pair of vice grip pliers, just like channel locks, but you have to push the little button to adjust the width. I like these quite a bit just about as much as the old water pump pliers. Next we have a pair of duckbill pliers for doing safety wire. I like to use these to make sure that the wire is right up tight next to the hole. An old pair of needle nose pliers. I use these for dipping copper into acid. That's why they're all rusty. This is a pair of round nose pliers for making hairpins, and I make quite a few of these. Every time I see a cotter pin, I get rid of them and make one of these out of different size wire depending on the application. A pair of snap ring pliers. They have these two little tits on here so you can get into the holes, and then they have a detent here for getting that sharp little end piece on the end of a snap ring. These are battery terminal pliers. I think that's how they sell them in most of the auto parts store. But they also come in the larger sizes, and these are great instead of using pipe wrenches. And next we have flush cuts for cutting the ends off of cable ties. Nice and flush, and you don't have anything hanging out to get your arms caught on, all your clothes and everything on sprint cars and midgets. Well, in fact, all race cars, you're using lots of cable ties, and this cleans the whole job up quite a bit. Just regular old water pump pliers. Here, Corbin clamp pliers. If you worked on the early Fords, they used almost exclusively Corbin clamps for radiator and heater hose. We've got 3 sets of Bernards. These are parallel jaw pliers, and they also have a cutter on them. These are jet twisters. I got these in 1963, and they don't have the spring, which I hate, to return the twist. These are excellent, and you can get right in and make sure that you have right around 7 twists per inch. Here's a set of cable crimps. These are great for putting the ends on spark plug wires, especially the ones that go into the distributor. And this end does cable ties. And just a heavy-duty pair of snips. These are good for cable and chain. And then we get into the wrenches. These are fractional from 1/4 up to 1 1/4. And I have over here 1 1/16, which is for the water cinder units. Goes into the manifold. These are all metric wrenches. These are pretty neat for turning a nut or bolt quickly. It's almost like a ratchet wrench. You have to use a standard wrench to either tighten or loosen the bolt, but once you get it broke loose, you can get it spun out pretty quick with this if you don't have room for a ratchet. Then offsets from 3/8 to 9/16, line wrenches from 5/16 to 3/8, and then ratcheting wrenches, little stubbies. These are kind of neat. And then this is that 5/16 British Standard, and this is used for the top right bell housing bolt on a Rolls-Royce. I worked for Vanderplug Motors down in Santa Monica for a year or so, and when I'd rebuild a transmission, this is the only wrench that would fit between the bell housing and the firewall. And this piece here is for squeezing these types of tubes. That's the end of the wrench drawer. Next we'll be going to the bottom box. This is just a bunch of sundry pieces. Same thing here, odd stuff. Hacksaw and slide hammer and all types of electrical stuff. So go to the next video, and these 4 drawers will be next.